The news with Evans Chilandani and
Stephen Koma.
Viewers, sincere apologies for starting the news late.
However, we'll begin with a look at local stories.
COMESA Business Council CBC has signed a memorandum of understanding today with Taj Pamo's Hotel in Lusaka.
This is in order to enhance its role of innovating, competing and developing the private sectors.
Emmanuel Shapi has more in the following report.
The COMESA Business Council is an institution that is positioned as the private sector arm for COMESA, a sole representative of business interests to all policy organs at the regional level. Today, Wednesday, the COMESA Business Council, CBC and the Taj Pamo's Hotel Lusaka collaborate to promote local sourcing from agro-food suppliers. The strategic partnership will promote local sourcing, inclusive SME growth and the sustainable local supply sourcing in the COMESA region. The Taj Pamo's Hotel General Manager, Sanjay Sood, says that he was excited for the memorandum of understanding, for there is need to structure a mechanism that will encourage the intra-trade growth through the consumption of homegrown products.
What we're going to offer is basically training in terms of what the specifications in terms of any vegetables, fruits, what are the requirements, how not to use pesticides and make it more organic, and encourage them to share with them that in terms of consistency in supply, how will it benefit them as well as us, so that we don't land into situations where we have to say no or we have to look at alternate suppliers.
And the COMESA Business Council CEO Sandra Huera says that it is impressive to see that local companies are willing to work with COMESA.
Hotel. We are seeing the huge interest from the buying companies, from corporate companies in Africa and also in Zambia, to ensure that they can boost the capacity of local industries, local enterprises, and start purchasing products from them. So I think the promise of this particular partnership is an assurance that local enterprises are willing to partner with, local corporate companies are willing to partner with businesses in Zambia, with SMEs in Zambia, as long as they can meet certain selective criteria that they have. They're willing to actually start buying local. And as you can see, the agenda has changed. Buying local ensures that you can get your product consistently at a good price. And it also ensures that it creates wealth and employment for the local community, for Zambians and for Africans in general.
It is expected that this collaboration will promote inter-trade and regional markets in the hospitality sector in order to create jobs, contribute to growth of SME and advance sustainable sourcing of food suppliers. The collaboration comes ahead of a local sourcing for partnership training in Zambia for 80 suppliers on sustainable sand at the requirements from 27th October to 15 November 2015. For CBC News, Manu Mulakwa Shapi in Lusaka.
The Zambia Center for Inter-Party Dialogue, ZCID, has remained committed in promoting dialogue among political parties in the country.
It has therefore partnered with supporting partners outside the country to train participants from political parties, namely opposition, UPND, MMD, ADD, FDD, Ruling Patriotic Front and ZDDM for 3 days in Lusaka.
Pamela Mulenga has more in the following report.
The International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance, IDEA, and the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy, in partnership with the Zambia Center for Inter-Party Dialogue, held a 3-day training on political party dialogue to 25 politicians in Zambia. These organizations feel that as Zambia goes to the polls next year, there's need for political parties to constructively and effectively contribute to the national dialogue on the electoral process to avoid conflicts.
The significance of this workshop is to empower political parties with strategies and information which they can use in order to implement an interparty dialogue. We are trying to get them to understand what are the principles of interparty dialogue. How can you organize an interparty dialogue? What is involved, and so many other strategies that are employed, so that even when we invite them for such an activity, they already understand. Because in the past we've had situations where you try to host an inter-party dialogue meeting, and then there are all these misgivings about the intention and the objective of such a meeting.
So we've been implementing this inter-party dialogue workshop for political party agents in the last 3 days here in Lusaka, Zambia. At the initiative and the invitation of the Zambian Center for Inter-Party Dialogue, and it's been implemented by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy and International IDEA. We find it's a very good opportunity and a very good occasion by ZCID to do this training right now. As everyone knows, Zambia has 3 elections coming up, possibly a referendum included, and there's been a whole constitutional review discussion about that. And what for International IDEA and NIMD is very important is that we help prepare parties to be able to communicate with each other in not only a non-violent way, because I would say Zambia achieves well in that sense, but still in also a non-aggressive way.
Representatives from some political parties were happy to be part of this important occasion.
We are not saying that we are opposing each other, but we are not enemies. At the end of the day, we are all fighting for Zambia to be a better country. So we have something in common, all of us as Zambians.
It was very, very important to political parties. And, participants have been drawn from all major or key political parties in Zambia. And the workshop, the concept is how to carry out an inter-party dialogue. I think we are benefiting as political parties because next, when we have a problem, we'll be able to know the necessary course to take, or the process of carrying out an inter-party dialogue.
And Program's Party for Idea, Frank Kaitari, has described the participants' response to the training as interactive and fruitful.
We had politicians that were very engaged. They received our program very well. They asked questions, they shared experiences, because the intention of the training was for us to give them what we know, but also to hear from them what they think. And that was the sharing of experience went very well.
Before the end of this important training, certificate of attendance was awarded to the participants. Meanwhile, the government, through the Ministry of Justice, also was happy to support such an initiative that fosters and strengthens good democratic governance. Pamela Mlenga, CBC News in Lusaka.
Former Zambia Congress of Trade Unions, ZCTU President Leonard Hikaumba has advised Zambians and the government to attach great importance to diversify the economy.
Speaking to CBC News in an interview in Lusaka, Mr. Hikaumba says it is time the nation stopped depending on copper as a backbone of the economy, adding that there is need to implement the diversification policy.
And Mr. Hikaumba says the high cost of living, which is not favorable to many ordinary Zambians, must compel the government to put in place measures to sustain the economy.
Current situation economically is it's making life very difficult for most of the average Zambians. The kwacha has been depreciating at a very fast rate. The purchasing power of most of the workers and the peasants has been drastically affected. It's something that the government has to arrest in one way or another. It is my belief that if some measures are put in place, when I talk about measures, it's economic measures, we can find a solution to the problem that we are currently facing. A few years ago, I remember there was a conference which was called National Indaba, where the economy was put under the microscope. And it was agreed during that conference that we should now look at serious diversification of the economy. This has been the talk for quite a long time now, and it's something that we ought to seriously consider and implement. We know the solution is diversification of the economy, but the problem is implementation, and this is where we are getting it wrong. So if we are to come out of this in the long term, all of us need to ensure that we make a contribution to economic diversification, because the dependence on the kwacha, on copper has always not been good for us.
This is CBC News Tonight. CAMCO Assistant General Manager Simon Ong says that there is need for farmers in the country to purchase agricultural equipment and generator sets to make the agricultural sector viable.
He says that it is for this reason that his company is committed to assist the farmers to improve their operations.
More in the following report.
CAMCO Equipment Zambia Limited was registered in Zambia 18 years ago. It is dedicated to provide the Zambian market with quality equipment used in agriculture, construction and fishery. Assistant General Manager Simon Huang said by providing equipment such as gensets to the general public will help cushion the power deficit the country is going through.
I really want to do something to this country. Yeah. And also as well, we also brought our pump and also genset. As you know, currently we have some power shortages. We hope that with our little bit contribution, we are able to make life easier through our genset.
With the current interruption of power supply, CAMCO sales manager Weope Makungu also said that the same equipment found in Lusaka is found in all CAMCO depots and outlets around the country.
Equipment that we stock at Lusaka branch, we also have them distributed in the other branches that we have. That is from what the boss said. We have Kapiri, Solwezi will be opening very soon. We have Kitwe, it's running. We have Chipata in Eastern Province. In Southern Province, we have Choma branch. Yes. We have, and the prices are the same throughout the branches.
Complying with the Zambian market, the company is mainly supplying construction and engineering equipment like agricultural power equipment and generators set to the general public. For CBC News, I'm Sharon Kalimbola.
Lusaka-based economist and transporter Ibrahim Piri has castigated those predicting that there will be food shortages in Zambia next year.
Mr. Piri says that there will be no food crisis in Zambia next year because Food Reserve Agency is stocking maize harvested last farming season.
Mr. Piri notes that maize is still available, even some which was purchased 2 years ago at all FRA depots.
Here in Zambia, there is no food crisis. Because me, as a transporter, Yusuf Manjazi Investment Limited, I'm the major transporter of Food Reserve. What I've seen is that Food Reserve have got enough maize. Even the maize which they have for last year, they still have it. And now, if they can manage to, if they can meet the target, the food, the maize which they wanted to buy, they have managed the target, which means it is shown that there's no crisis. So the government have got enough maize. Even the people outside there, they've got maize, they've got maize. Because you find that maybe it's just one person, you can produce maybe 2,000 bags. This is to show that there's enough maize in Zambia.
Meanwhile, Lusaka businessman Alex Ngandu has urged the Zambian people to give PF government enough time to complete developmental projects.
Mr. Ngandu notes that by 2016 tripartite elections, most campaign promises would be fulfilled.
No, we shouldn't blame the government. Others, you know, the opposition, they are trying to decampaign the president, Mr. Edgar Chagwalungu, that, no, this is what is happening, he's there for, no. This man is working with the experienced ministers, especially given Rurinda. Yeah, he's there at the Ministry of Agriculture. Yeah, everything is okay. I'm assuring all the Zambians, according to my opinion, this government will deliver.
This is CBC News Tonight.
The business news segment on CBC News Tonight, and we begin with a look at local business stories.
ZCCM Investment Holdings has invited Zambians to buy shares in the company, which the government has made available for them to purchase from its shares.
ZCCM Investments Holdings PLC is an investment holdings company with significant investments in Zambia mining industry.
Details in the following report. ZCCM Investments PLC is an investment holdings company with significant investments in Zambia's mining industry. The government of the Republic of Zambia currently holds 87.5% of the shares in ZCCM IH, with remaining 12.5% being held by institutions and private investors in Europe, Africa, the Caribbean, Australia, Asia, and the USA. The company has a primary listing on the Lusaka Stock Exchange and secondary listings on the Euronext, Paris, and London Stock Exchange. On 30th July 2015, the sell down of ZCCM shares was launched by the Minister of Finance, Mr. Alexander Chikwanda, and ends this November on the 30th. This sell down of shares has been brought about to enable as many Zambians to own shares. Speaking during a press briefing on Wednesday, ZCCM IH Chief Executive Officer Dr. Pius Kasolo called on all Zambians within and in the diaspora to take advantage of this offer before it comes to a close on 30th November 2015.
ZCCM Investments Holdings is an investment holding company with significant interests in the Zambian mining industry. The government of the Republic of Zambia, DRZ, is selling near 28 million shares which it holds in ZCCM IH. The main objective, as you can recall, of this sell down is to enable Zambians to take an active role in the running of the mining sector by owning shares in some of the biggest mining companies in Zambia, as well as investments in other strategic sectors of the Zambian economy, such as energy and banking. We continue to look at investment opportunities in the agriculture sector, as well as in real estate, renewable energy, with the goal of maximizing the value of our shareholders. For the first time in the history of ZCCM IH, the government of the Republic of Zambia is availing the opportunity to every Zambian on part of one of the highest valued stock on the Lusaka Stock Exchange. That is listed also in London Stock Exchange and the Paris Stock Exchange up until 30th November 2015.
But what are the advantages of buying these shares whilst in the diaspora?
Today, I'm extending this opportunity to all Zambians in diaspora via the Zambian missions to take up the ZCCM IH shares that have been made available on the Lusaka Stock Exchange by the government of the Republic of Zambia. The stock exchange has an important role to play in allocation of resources, both directly as resource of funds and as a determinant of individual worth. And this is a wonderful opportunity for Zambians in diaspora to actively participate in the Zambian stock market. To that end, We will work with the Minister of Foreign Affairs to ensure that the information about the sell down is disseminated to Zambians whenever they can be found, and use all channels available to reach them. We have heard calls from Zambians abroad that they would like to invest back home. Some indeed have done just that, by way of investing in property and other assets. What we are saying today to Zambians abroad, and also even locally, is that you can go ahead, you can go even further. You can take ownership in the mineral wealth in your country. By buying shares in ZCMIH, you are taking steps to share in the mineral wealth of the country. In fact, we are going even further than that. Our company, through its diversification strategy, will ensure that you capture the wealth of diverse range of sectors. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, let me appeal to Zambians both at home and diaspora on an individual basis, and also to Zambian companies and institutions to take advantage of opportunities like this one, so that we can empower ourselves, empower their workers, their children, and to continue to play a part in the development of our country. For example, companies and institutions can take advantage of this opportunity and structure employee schemes for their workers, so that they can empower their workers by creating an enabling environment for them to become shareholders.
Evans Chilandani Mutanshi reporting for CBC Business News in Lusaka.
The Meteorological Department has urged farmers in Central Province to consider planting drought-tolerant varieties and early to medium maturing seed in the 2015-2016 farming season to increase productivity.
Provincial Meteorological Officer Felix Imbawe said there is need for farmers to approach the 2015-2016 farming season with caution, as weather forecasts show normal to below normal rains.
Mr. Imbawe told the Zambia National Farmers Union Friday brief obtained by the Daily Mail on Monday.
Meanwhile, heavy rains that characterize most parts of Central Province has caused panic among some small-scale farmers.
The onset of rainy season has found most farmers unprepared due to challenges such as high input prices and delayed payments from the Food Reserve Agency.
That's all we had for you in our local business news. Now, capital market news. We start with Egypt.
The Egyptian stock market dived on a Tuesday for the third day in a row, with the benchmark index EGX30 dropping by 4.4%.
EGX30 experienced a steep drop within the first 30 minutes of trading amid heavy selling by foreign traders and Egyptian financial institutions.
The Middle and Small Enterprises Index EGX70 and the broader EGX100 both dipped as well by 3.84 and 3.4% respectively.
The Egyptian Stock Exchange Administration has had to suspend trading on more than 24 stocks for half an hour each for exceeding the 5% drop allowed in a single trading session.
The suspended stocks include blue chip stocks like Emma Mercer and several stocks from the tourism sector, including the Egyptian Resorts Company and Shamdreams Company for tourism investment.
Over the course of the two previous stock market sessions held this week, EGX30 fell by more than 5% as Egypt continues to grapple with the ramifications of the Russian plane that crashed in the Sinai Desert on October 31st.
Some of the hardest hit stocks in trading on Monday were from the tourism and resorts sector, with fears abounding on how the plane crash might impact the Egyptian tourism industry.
Nigeria.
The African Securities Exchanges Association, a premier association of 25 securities exchanges from across the continent, will hold its annual conference at the end of this week.
ASEA President Oscar Onyema said the theme of the conference is Africa Evermore, Growth for Sustainability. embodied in the potential growth and the stability of Africa's capital markets.
The Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the continent's largest and member of the World Federation of Exchanges, is hosting the conference.
Increasingly, investment decisions are being driven by considerations of risk, impact, and sustainability that are far wider than just financial returns.
ASEA assists in promoting and educating members and stakeholders on the importance of socially responsible investments and the need to pay attention to environmental, social, and governance issues.
The African Securities Exchanges Association, a premier association of 25 securities exchanges from across the continent, will hold its annual conference at the end of this week.
ASEA President Oscar Onyema said, "Rather, we are still in Nigeria, where the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Manuel Guazo, has called for a strict compliance with corporate governance codes by companies operating in the country."
This is even as the Commission has expressed its readiness to collaborate with relevant bodies to ensure good corporate governance in the nation's capital market.
Guazo stated this when the executives of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria visited him in Abuja.
Guazo said that as an institute that is vital in the promotion of corporate governance in Nigeria, ICSAN has a major role to play in safeguarding the rights of shareholders.
Now let's have a look at a local equity market.
A total of 28,214 shares were transacted in 30 trades, resulting in a market turnover of 25,108 kwacha.
Trading occurred in ATEL, CEC, Invest Trust, Lafarge, and MFIN.
Others were REIZ, SCZ, and Zanaco.
An equal share price loss of 1 ngwe was recorded in CEC, MFIN, and SCZ.
The Luce Osha Index last week closed at 5,751.66 points, as you can see on the table there, a decline of 0.14% from the previous close of 5,759.79 points.
The market closed on a capitalization of 64,351 million kwacha, including Shoprite Holdings, and 30,111 million kwacha, excluding Shoprite Holdings.
And now the most active securities.
REIZ 3 kwacha 40 ngwe, no change.
MAFS 3 kwacha 40, down by 1 ngwe.
SCZ 1 kwacha 89 ngwe, down by 1 ngwe.
CEC 59 ngwe, down by 1 ngwe.
Now we look at the forex table provided by the Zambia National Commercial Bank, Zanaco.
The US dollar is buying at 13 kwacha 56 ngwe and selling at 13 kwacha 83 ngwe.
As you can see on your screen, the Great British Pound is buying at 20 kwacha 55 ngwe and selling at 20 kwacha 99 ngwe.
The euro 14 kwacha 59 is selling and buying 14 kwacha 88 ngwe.
The South African rand is buying at 95 ngwe and selling at 97 ngwe.
Still, these indicators are showing that the kwacha has gained, because yesterday it was 14 kwacha, today is 13.
Yeah, gaining there, and definitely people I think are happy because it raised to 14 plus.
Right.
And we were expecting that maybe today it would have gone to 15, but praise the Lord, it has gained.
That's good news. Though copper prices on the London Metal Exchange traded at 4,925 per metric ton, down 0.78% from the previous trading day's price.
A bit sad news there. Crude oil Brent was traded at $47.34 per barrel, down by 0.21%.
Gold COMEX was traded at $1,086.10 an ounce, down by 0.22% from the previous trading day's price.
Well, that's all we had on the business segment.
Sports news is next after the break. We'll be back.
Sambuca Sports World, situated in Comesa area opposite Diditech University, suppliers of clubs and national team jerseys and other sport equipment. We are also suppliers of other outfits such as jeans and balls for football in all English, Spanish, Italian, German, French and Dutch football club jerseys. Chipolo Polo, DR Congo, Nigeria, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Mali, Algeria, and other national teams. You can contact us on 0977-616133. Sambuca, World of Sport.
Sports World, we supply everything. When you think about jerseys, think about Sambuca.
Sambuca Sports Suppliers have another outlet behind Tazala House.
CBC News Tonight, and now the sports segment in detail.
And we start with boxing. Heavyweight champion Francis Galagata Zulu says that without discipline, most sportsmen would not excel in their career.
He says that most boxers who are talented failed to achieve their goals in life because they lacked discipline and were expelled.
He adds that sportsmen should maintain high levels of discipline in order to win more medals for Zambia.
What I should say to the boxers, the female boxer, the male, whatever they are doing, they must know that they're doing it for the country and it's for their future. So whatever they are doing, they must concentrate, make sure they got boxing with jealousy, no misbehaving, make sure each time if you are going for the gym, you need to go for the gym. If the trainer say, let's go for the gym, you need to go. In fact, the trainer shouldn't tell you to go for the gym. You know, I'm a national heavyweight champion. I've been the national heavyweight champion for almost 6 years. So I think to come back to boxing and say I can fight. Yes, I've got power, I can fight if I want to fight, but it's better you leave boxing with the honor. It's better you don't leave boxing just because you just want to fight. You see, I've been calling for the challengers for so many years. They don't want to come. They give you this excuse, this. So I think I can do that.
Meanwhile, Zulu has revealed that he will launch his boxing stable next week.
He has called on all well wishers to come on board and contribute financially towards his project.
And Zulu has appealed to upcoming boxers to work hard and bring honor to the country.
We'll be launching next week. We'll be launching Galagata Boxing Promotion. We need to build up young boxers so that they can take up from us. I think we're going to do it. We are on the right course.
Well, thank you so very much for watching CBC News Tonight.
I'm Stephen Nkoma, and indeed on behalf of Evans Chilandani Mutanshi and everybody else involved in this production and the news crew, we thank you so much for watching, wishing you a good night, but still watch our headlines.
Good night.
Describe training workshops as successful. Business Council standing with Pamelsi Hot. Zambia to host the first and the 5th Council of the Intellectual Property. In International Defense Autobiography, Washington of Lining.